Hello, my friends. Mrs. Surratt here to talk to you a little bit about the 5.04 assignment. This assignment is about depression among the age group of ages 15 to 24. So it's important that when you are thinking about this assignment, you keep in mind the age group that we're looking for. So, what is the purpose of this assignment? Well, here's the thing. Unfortunately, depression is on the rise in this age group. And there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what depression is and what it can mean. And sometimes people will say things like, oh, that kid's just being lazy, or they could be happier if they wanted to, if they tried harder. But the truth is, depression can be pretty debilitating, especially major depression, and it can really leak into all parts of your life. So the purpose of this assignment is to educate people. Now, granted, you're only turning this into me, but it's to kind of demonstrate the ability to understand major depression and kind of provide some insight into it. And so you're looking for potential causes of depression in this age group, offering coping mechanisms, and then considering how you might help someone who's depressed. Now, maybe you're like, no problem, totally all over this. But some people may say, hey, I really don't know anything about major depression, which I'd like to start by saying that's awesome because, it would be nice if everybody in this age group was completely oblivious about depression. But if you're not sure, don't worry about it. There are some resources I have that can help. And I will be providing a PDF that goes with this video so you can click on these. But this is one good website. Mental Health America does a lot to keep track on things like depression. And then also this one, teendepression.org. I gave you the article on how to fight depression, but there's also a good article on causes as well. So you can kind of just dig around in there if you need some help. So the first thing you want to do, and you can use the PDF here, is to think about what can cause depression in people ages 15 to 24. So you want 3 or more potential causes of depression. The websites I gave you will help. You might do your own research, or maybe you have personal knowledge on the subject. But you want to think about legitimate causes of depression, and there's a difference between just kind of feeling down and having major depression. So you want to kind of look for those causes of major depression. Maybe you got a poor score on a video game. Well, chances are you might be down for a couple days and then you're doing okay. That's not major depression. Major depression tends to go on for anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks or longer, and it tends to lead to this complete lack of interest in a lot of the everyday activities that maybe you once took joy in. So what are some potential causes of that depression? I will tell you, ironically, since this is a video, that screen time is often linked to depression and that lack of human contact, that isolation. So that's one you could consider. All right. So now if a person has depression, what can they do about it? It's not like if you have depression, that's it, you have one treatment and you're done. There's lots and lots of things you could do to try and make yourself better. But here's the key. You need to think of healthy ways to cope. For example, people with major depression, some of them sadly smoke or drink. That's not healthy. We don't want to recommend those as coping mechanisms. So try to think of 3 or more ways a person with depression can cope. One very simple way is just to go outside and get sunshine every day. Just being outside can completely change and elevate your mood. So that is one way that you could cope. Again, keeping in mind coping is not the same as curing, but it's a way to help combat the depression and to, try to find your way back to a more normal or balanced life. And last but not least, the third question that you need to consider is how could you help a friend or family member who has depression? So you want to think about 2 or more ways you could help someone. Now, sometimes what I'll get from my students is I would listen to them and let them know I'm there for them, or I would listen to them and support them. Well, that's kind of the same thing. So maybe you could be more specific. Like listening to them is great. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not that this is bad. These are awesome ideas. But maybe in your support, you might do something like take them to a movie or something they really enjoy doing. So like maybe you could be more specific about what support means beyond just I'm there for you. That can definitely be one. You can be there for the person. That can easily be one, but you just need to think about one more and try to have a little bit of distinguishing between the two. All right, so now it's time to write the essay. So your essay has to include all three of the things that we just talked about, and I did make a PDF of this in case you want to go through and use the slides as a guide. And I get this question a lot. How long should it be? Well, here's the reason I struggle to answer this. And I know I put 150 to 200 words or whatever because people want a length. But the truth is, length really isn't my greatest concern. Fully answering the questions is my greatest concern. Some people are very succinct writers. They get straight to the point and they put it down. They might turn in 2 paragraphs or half a page and have answered all questions completely and fully. Some people have turned in to me 3 or more pages of essay. Especially people who feel really passionately on this topic, they might turn in a longer essay. That's okay. I've told you the things I'm looking for. If this turns into something that you really want to get into, go ahead. I mean, I do think I got a 10-page paper once. That might have been a little too far, but still, I mean, the student really got into it, and hey, I think it's awesome because our purpose is to educate, right? So the more you learn, the better. But for those of you going 10 pages, it's okay. That's not. I'd say the typical length is about a page to a page and a half. But if you're a little shorter, but you've answered all parts, you're golden. So just remember, it's really about answering the questions and less about length. I'm not going to count your words. I'm not going to say, I'm sorry, I said 150 and you have 148, zero. No, nothing like that. The only time I grade grammar is if I really can't understand what you're saying or the words are so badly misspelled I cannot figure them out. But we all make grammar mistakes. We all spell words wrong here and there. I don't worry about that. As long as it's not interfering with what you're trying to express, then I'm looking for your expression. So that's it, my friends. I hope that helps you to go through this essay. And if you have any questions, as always, please let me know.